the mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning, Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Woo! Good morning, Bakers. What's going on? Wake and Jake. Good morning. I'm Wake. He's Jake. Big baby David going on. It's Super Bowl week. It kind of doesn't feel like it. Me and Bug were talking about it this morning. What a weird... I think it ties into the Northeast with the snowstorm. Like, we got nailed with the snowstorm, but there's also no media week, so it's weird. I mean, it's Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and I feel like, I don't know. I guess I haven't been inundated with Super Bowl stuff. I guess there's been a lot of NBA, college basketball, but we're here. We're here. It's Thursday. Of course, I know the date, February 4th. Games on Sunday. Maybe you guys have small plans, small gatherings, a couple drinks and some friends. And we've got someone coming live from Tampa in a minute, a special guest. I'm going to tease it for a minute. He hasn't been on the John Boy Media Network ever, but a fun dude. But first, we got to do the game of the night, and then I'm going to call him and hope he picks up. And if he doesn't, me and BBD will have egg on our face, and then we just got to call people until somebody picks up.
We've promised a special guest already.
We've promised a special guest. I'm excited. It's a name you guys are all going to be familiar with. But first, we got to do the game of the night, BBD. The game of the night. Today was a weird one. I decided there wasn't a game that jumped out at all. BBD's Wizards get another win. Nobody cares. BBD, this is more so almost an early bro of the night. I wanted to talk about my guy, the last Zion. I've been in on Zion, let the record show. Some heated conversations in our Knicks chat going back. I just thought built different emoji.
There's other circumstances at play there.
It was always injury risk. It was always injury. The basketball never concerned me. And it's taken off, man. The Pelicans played the Suns last night. You didn't watch. Zion Williamson, I want to read his box score. 12 of 14 from the field. 28 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. BBD, his plus-minus number, 37. Plus-minus 37. That's plus 37. So Zion was gross. It's happening. 6 assists, by the way. Don't sleep on that. Zion's good. The whole thing was his health. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be nasty and part of the future of this league. This game, I honestly don't have much on. I didn't watch this game. The Suns are 11-9. So if you're a Western Conference guy, know that the Suns are doing it. Is Chris Paul having a nice year? I don't know. Devin Booker. Steven Adams, 13 rebounds and 11 points. Exciting stuff. Wenyen Gabriel, 2 minutes, 0 points.
Proud of him.
Got out there, tried his hardest, did his best. No, guys, there honestly wasn't a big game of the night. And then it's kind of Super Bowls coming up. We could talk about Dallas getting a win. NBA's kind of cooking. But I wanted to talk about Zion Williamson because he's a monster.
Decent game for Lonzo, too.
I like Lonzo. I like
Lonzo a lot still. I hate that I like him so much.
What do you think Zion's stat line is on the year?
Well, he's kind of bad early in the year, but I think the stats were actually fine. Just people were saying he was bad. The real problem is his defense because it was like big bad for a minute there, and I think he started being what we thought he was on defense, which is use his size.
Big.
I don't know.
24 and 7.5.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's pretty good, man. I mean,
he's not asked to be the primary scorer. I assume Ingram still leads the team in points.
Yeah, but I mean, he's shooting 60% from the field, shooting 36% from three.
Is there a total?
I mean, he can't be
attempts number?
taking a lot. I don't have that number in front of me. But Zion Williamson is the truth. And after this Super Bowl, get ready to hear more about Zion, because I do think he's the future of the league. It's still LeBron's still doing his thing. KD, they're not going to compete yet, but I do think Zion's next. And
4 of 11 for the year from three.
okay, so I won't give him love.
So
there.
he takes like a shot a game
Every game.
but he didn't take a shot for the first like 10 games.
Okay, so he's getting
so
going
now
on it.
he's going.
I just think he is that dude. Everyone, basketball wise, people were concerned that he just bullied everyone. Guess what? He bullies guys in the NBA. Nobody is built like him. Built different. Snort emoji. So that's the fake game of the night. I'm sorry, everyone.
I'll be honest, going into the draft, a gun to my head, I thought, yeah, Zion's good, and I would pick him in a heartbeat if the Knicks got the
Sure.
number one pick. But I did have a little bit of concern of like, okay, but he's just kind of been bigger and smarter than everyone else at every level he's played at. Like, I guess until Duke, but even then he was bigger than everyone else.
That was the concern coming
So
out
it's
of high
like-
school.
Yeah, especially out of high school because he played in like not a premier high school league.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That was my when I took the turn on Zion, because that Duke team fell apart. It was him, Barrett, and Cam Reddish. Who I've said my
He's
Cam
the
Reddish
biggest
thoughts
culprit.
before. But I think Coach K's losing his touch a little bit. I think they use Zion weird. If you ever watch those games, he used to just like isolate Zion. He was running a point forward at times. Zion's a stud, all in. Those are my thoughts on that. BBD, let's call our guy, because it's on the mind.
Let's do it.
It's on the mind. All right. I'm going to call him up right now. A little nervous.
All right, we got sound.
We got
I made
sound.
sure we've got sound.
Calling now. Live from the Super Bowl in Tampa.
What's up, weirdo?
Hello, is this Chris Rose?
It is the one and only. No, believe me, nobody else wants to be me.
Chris Rose from the Best Damn Sports Show,
Relatable.
period. Is that how people still introduce you?
Well, first of all, at this point in my career, I rarely get introduced. So I would say that, yeah, people still like talking about that show the most, which is, I will take that. That is a badge of honor right there. I still love that show. And, you know, the one I just left, Intentional Talk, I think that's probably it, I would say. So, yeah, I'm on board with it.
Those are big ones. Those are big flexes. Chris, you're down in Tampa. Did you get in yesterday, or did you get in? I don't know. What's going on down there? Does it feel like the Super Bowl?
Well, you want to know my whole travel
If
itinerary?
you could, that'd be great.
Yes, I took flight 559 out of LAX, departing at, yes. I came here Tuesday
Okay.
and was on the air Wednesday. Thanks for watching yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were glued to the set. And, you know, I'll be doing our Super Bowl live coverage. We have like 70 live hours from here in Tampa. And we are, you know, we don't have as many on-air people as we've had in years past. I'm one of the really fortunate. There's 12 of us on air total, talking about analysts, hosts, reporters. Usually we have 60.
Wow.
So it's just because of, you know, COVID, that's what's happening. And I will tell you this. So most times on a Thursday morning, the place would be buzzing, right? I'm on their famous Riverwalk right now. I feel like 10 people. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well,
Although I'm about to hop on somebody's boat and take that for a spin, I can tell you that.
Breaking news: Chris Rose stealing a boat. Well, that's why I wanted to give you a shout, man, because in the Northeast we got hit with a massive snowstorm, so there's kind of been the weird. I mean, Monday and Tuesday almost got canceled. And then I just think on top of that, you know, we're normally used to the normal Super Bowl week, and we're getting the silly, you know, Marshawn interviews and stuff like that are leaking out by now. And right now on the receiving end, and I'm sorry I missed you yesterday, trying to make my content, but Like, yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling because then your brain jumps back into it and you're like, Brady Mahomes, this is like the dream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. The game itself, like when we finally get to Sunday, it's going to be amazing. It really is. Like when you think about it, we got a guy that's 10 freaking Super Bowls. 10.
Yeah.
There's only 55 that we've played. And he only started playing in them. He was only eligible starting at Super Bowl 35. So, like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
What's going on with him? And I have said this several times, and I'm a firm believer in it, that I think when it's all said and done, and I'm not much for hyperbole, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be right up there with Brady when it's said and done. I've never seen a guy this young be this dominant, this talented, this smart, because usually like a quarterback of his age or just a guy who's been in the league 10 years, doesn't matter. Like every Sunday you'll watch a quarterback make at least 2 throws a game where you're like, what the hell was he thinking? Like, really? Like Mahomes, it's like once a month, maybe. He's just so far ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with that is he also, when he does make that one mistake, I mean, their offense is still, it's just so potent that it, you know, he can kind of shrug, like, you know, you don't have to go head down on the bench. He just gets out there and twirls the next one. But I mean, I'm with you on the all-time stuff, Chris, and I think that's where I actually get a little more tuned in is because, you know, Brady's going for 7, which is insane. And I think Mahomes and Reed, and I've been saying it on here, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of hot take, kind of dumb, but like I think this Chiefs team is just going to roll. Like Andy Reid finally got the monkey off his back, and he's got Mahomes, and Reid is a genius. That like I think these guys are going to be doing it for the next 15 years, and I think it's kind of funny if Brady wins this one, it's going to make it that much tougher for Mahomes to catch him. Where if Mahomes gets 2 and Brady's at 6, I think that's going to become all that more real.
Yeah, I'm not even so sure when I'm talking about comparisons between the two. I don't think it's just strictly Super Bowl rings, right? It just, I know that's how we sometimes like to measure it. Maybe it's the tiebreaker eventually, but let your eyes tell you the story. Like when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, it really was that defense that did it against the Rams, and he put together a great drive. Now, yes, you can look up the record book. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 36? It was Tom Brady, but he threw for like 160 yards, you know?
Yeah.
And a touchdown. He was really like, I hate the term, but he really was a game manager, right?
Yeah.
And Mahomes has never been a game manager. He came in, he made that start in week 17 of the 2017 season against Denver when Alex Smith was still the quarterback, and we were like, wow, okay, this guy's got a little something. Then they trade Smith and they turn the keys over and we're like, whoa. A playoff team giving it to a guy who's unproven and has lousy footwork and all. And from the minute he set foot on that field in 2018, we're all like, it's all making sense now. Like he is just, I've never seen a guy like him. I would say the closest is Marino. And unfortunately, you know, Marino got there in his second season in the Super Bowl and then never sniffed it after that.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, a lot of people were getting in my head with those. You probably saw them too. You know, Brady, when Brady made it to the Super Bowl coming from the NFC, everyone was tweeting how Rodgers only did it once and Breeze only did it once. And that almost put things more in perspective for Mahomes for me because he's going back-to-back years. Like I don't know, we kind of shrug because Mahomes is that good, but that doesn't happen in the NFL. Like, it's unreal, man. So I don't know, that wasn't really a question, but I guess going from there, what level of football guy are you at this point? Because I talked to you the other day, and one of your final intentional talks, you were doing some Super Bowl stuff, and I was crazy impressed by that because you were just going. And it was
I'm a football geek.
You're a football,
I really am,
which I love. But so
like I love both, and I love the NBA too. I really do.
Sure.
those big three, I'm all over it as far as history. And yeah, I mean, I love it. That was no joke. That was not set up. That Super Bowl trivia. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't have much of a life, really. I got to be honest. I'll tell you. Got 2 great kids, a wonderful wife, and my sports, and that's about it. I dabble in a few other things, but yeah, this is it, man. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I've been doing.
That's the dream,
since I was
man.
a kid.
Kids, wife, and sports. That's hashtag goals. I was gonna lean into, like, for football. There's different levels though. There's guys that get in the tape and do A gap, B gap. Did you ever do that deep dive? Because I never have. Like, I almost view it at the Madden level. I can see when a guy makes a good block or makes a good play, but I don't see the inside outs. Do you ever get into the game tape heavy?
Okay, so yes, we do have access. When you work at NFL Network, we have a thing called the Game Pass, which you can buy as a fan. We're fortunate to kind of get it for free because it's our job. And can I sit there and watch the all 22 game film? Absolutely. Do I? No, because that's not what I prepare for as a host. I respect the hell out of those guys that do that sort of deep dive stuff, but I'm never going to pretend. There are people in our business who pretend they know more than Michael Irvin, who will be sitting next to me, Kurt Warner, who will, sit next to me at some point this week, Willie McGinnis, and they start talking about strategy, and I'm like, these guys actually were in the A gap, and this guy was running that pattern, and this guy was reading the defense. I think I'll listen to him. So, it's good to. I love asking questions. Like, there's nothing better than sitting and watching a football game with one of those guys and asking what transpired instead of trying to be like, yeah, dude, why? Like, that guy's such an idiot. This should have happened. I come from the school of if you ask the question, you're going to get some really interesting answers.
Yeah, that's a good way to live. Yeah. So I guess off of that, I was going to say, I was kind of get some of your opinions. Like, does Kelsey jump out, or Tyreek Hill's different, or something that Tampa does that has kind of started convincing you about the Super Bowl? But I guess have any of those guys whispered something to you that you've been like, oh wow, I didn't even think of that?
Well, so we already have a blueprint because these teams played in Week 12. In fact, it was the Buccaneers' last loss, and people look at the score and say 27-24. Boy, it was a tight game. We'd be lucky to get something like that. If you remember the game, the Chiefs were kicking the crap out of the Bucs. They were up 17-0 midway through the second quarter and inside the Buccaneers' 10-yard line and about to make it 24-0. And you could kiss it goodnight. Romo and Nance would have been doing 60 minutes promos, for the next 3 hours to keep the audience. And Shaq Barrett got a strip sack with Mahomes. And the Bucs went down and scored, and it changed the complexion of the game. So, for me, obviously we know that Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards receiving in the first quarter alone. He torched a pretty good young corner in Carlton Davis. They threw at Davis 9 times. They threw to Hill 9 times against Davis. He caught 9 passes for more than 200 yards, and I think all 3 of his touchdowns. Now, you don't think that Todd Bowles is going to change up that defense to make sure that doesn't happen again? So, it's that sort of cat and mouse game. What sort of adjustments get made? How Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy help their 2 offensive tackles now that there's no Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher against a really good front 4? Those are the fun little things that we'll talk about and kind of watch, and it might come to fruition, or maybe I'll be full of shit. At the end of the day, maybe I'll just pretend I know what I'm talking about.
It's that's kind of what I live by. So I guess you mentioned the cat and mouse game of it, and I guess that is the funny part about football. You could give I've kind of been locked in on the Chiefs early this year. I think Mahomes is different. I think Reid is comfortable, and he's just such an offensive guru that with Mahomes, I've been locked in. It's not a hot take, but, I might as well go down with the ship at this point. But you're so right with football. Like, if those 2 tackles, if Pierre Paul and Shaq Barrett are just dominating, that changes the whole outlook of the entire game. So, we're at John Boy Media, we're not hot take people, but do you got to lean at this point?
Well, you make an interesting point about Shaq Barrett and JPP. It was two interesting things. One is, Shaq Barrett kind of exploded on the scene a year ago. He had some solid years in Denver, but really took it to another level last year, leading the NFL in sacks. And then this year, he was just kind of laying in the weeds until last week or 2 weeks ago against the Packers. I mean, he'd gone like 6 or 7 weeks without a sack, and he had 3 against Rodgers. So, pass rushers are a little bit like home run hitters. Like when they get hot, they start to get hot. And JPP, they asked him about Eric Fisher's replacement, Mike Remmers. And he's like, who? They're like, yeah, the guy that's going to be starting a tackle opposite you. Now, keep in mind, Mike Remmers might not be a household name, but he ain't a rookie.
Yeah.
He's been in the league 9 years. He started a Super Bowl for the Panthers. And JPP should probably know who he is. He's made almost 100 career starts. And he's like, who's that? They're like, Mike Remmers. R-E-M-M. So, I mean, you talk about a lack of respect. Guy, like JPP isn't like, oh, yeah. You know what? He's fine. He's like, no clue, bro. No clue. So that's going to be fun, I think. With all that being said, I'm a huge Mahomes fan. I dig him. I got a huge man crush. He's, I'm a diehard Browns fan, so Chiefs ripped my heart out a few weeks ago, but man, I'm rooting for that guy. I have every reason in the world to appreciate what he does and just who he is and how he's handled himself. He's just, if you could make the modern day pro athlete, he's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we do so much stuff linked to baseball. Like he's part of the Royals ownership group, and that's really exciting now. And yeah, man, I mean, how often do you see, and we'll see his development as he continues, but he very much listens to Reed on the bench, and he talks to his guys. He's everything you want. You're right. He's the absolute dream. I don't know. I think from the fan side, this is like I'm New York sports, but I still like Brady. I love Brady and respect him. This Super Bowl feels like a win-win. If Brady wins and gets another, it's like awesome. I don't hate that at all.
No, listen, I'm with you here. Like, I don't think we as sports fans do a good enough job appreciating greatness because we're always looking for the next great thing. I think LeBron probably could have won 10 MVPs by now, but because he set the bar so high for himself, and then boom, Steph Curry comes out of nowhere. Hey, he's the guy. Then Giannis pops. Hey, no, he's the guy. Like, we forget to embrace greatness until it's 20 years down the road, and then we're still talking about that guy, right? Like, don't we all wish that Michael Jordan had finished up strong instead of limping to the Washington Wizards? Like, wouldn't we have wanted to see Jordan still compete for NBA titles at age 39? Like, I think we kind of regret that didn't happen. Well, with Brady, we don't have to regret it. We are living in it. This is something we will never see again. We are not going to see just because I don't think anybody's going to give a shit about still playing at 43 unless they're a kicker. Like, who the hell wants to not eat sugar and down avocado ice cream their entire life just so that they could play in the last game of the year? If I were him, like, I've asked myself this question this week several times. Why is Tom Brady still playing? Like, people go, well, you go until they rip the uniform off of you. Or you do that. Like, the guy's 43. He's got 2 kids. His wife makes way more money than he does. If I were in that situation, I'd put my feet up and be like, hell yes, I'm calling it a day. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. I'm not going to work out 7 days a week. I'm going to do it 3. I'll take long walks. I'll go watch my kids play ball or do recitals or, sing in the choir or whatever. Like, I'm not thinking 24/7, but he is wired so different. So I guess while he's here, I don't begrudge anyone who's hopping on that Brady train at all.
Yeah, I think we had a big realization when Breeze broke his ribs this year. We were like, oh my god, like 42-year-old Drew Brees is playing with 8 broken ribs in the NFL. Like, why? Like that's my nightmare. But Chris, I asked you for 5 to 10 minutes, and we're at 15. So, and hey, enjoy walking around Tampa and stealing boats. We'll see you on 70. How many straight hours of Super Bowl coverage? 70
Jake,
plus?
it's not me. Yeah, I'm not just doing 70 straight.
I think you should.
Like the Jerry Lewis telethon back in the day. Like there's help on the way. There's reinforcements.
Okay.
Let you take
Yeah, I'll be on from 4 to 7 Eastern today with Michael Irvin. So pray for me. I love Irvin. We used to work together at Best Damn, and that's where it all started. So
Yeah, man.
my man is one of a kind. I have to buckle up for safety when I'm with him, but it's fun.
That's
So,
cool.
and then listen, I get the great honor of hosting our post game show.
Yeah.
So right after the game's over on CBS, flip over to NFL Network. Well, we're not going to be on the field this year. Nobody is. But we have headsets set up all over, so all the winners will still be joining us. And they just won't be sitting on the set with us, obviously, because of COVID restrictions. So it will still get to bring you the best of the celebration.
Chris, I know I'm kind of naturally an idiot, but off the record, that's awesome, man. Like after the Super Bowl, you're talking to those dudes. So,
Dude, it's the best gig.
yeah,
I mean, there's nothing like being, close to the action when somebody's life changes. And for 30 minutes, it's not about dollars and how can I improve my brand. It's like these guys who work their entire lives getting to the pinnacle, and it's just raw emotion. It's really cool. It's fun stuff. And, I am very, very fortunate that NFL Network, gives me the reins to not screw it up for 2 hours.
that's awesome, man. All right, Chris, thank you so much, man. Have fun down there. At Chris Rose on TikTok, is that right?
Stop. I do have a TikTok, but it's really more for my viewing pleasure than anything else. But
Okay.
you can follow me on Twitter. Come on, Jake, at Chris Rose. Don't act like you haven't hit that follow button.
Oh,
I keep rejecting it.
I'm there right now. Damn it,
So.
blowing up my spot. All right, Chris, thank you so much, man. Have fun down there, and we'll talk
You
to you
got it.
soon.
Thanks, Chris.
Be careful there in the snow.
Yeah,
All right.
we will. Thanks, man.
All right, boys.
Well, that was awesome. That was our secret guest, Chris Rose. Glad it ended up working out perfectly for us. I heard he was going down there, and like he said, they're about to be going nuts for the next 70 hours. Not all him, but a lot of him. So tweet at Chris Rose. Thank him for coming on. All the Wake and Jake diehards. I would appreciate that. He would appreciate that. And he's kind of the best. He's the best. Like,
He's the man.
when he just described it, like wife, kids, sports, that's kind of me and BBD's dream board if we had to make one. So,
Just wife and kids away.
yeah, tweet at Chris Rose. Tell him he's the best. Thank him. Man, that after the Super Bowl is awesome.
That's cool.
Like, just being with those dudes. And yeah, I mean, like, that night can never be replaced for them. Like,
Yeah. It's like, it's the same. But then
How-
30 minutes of their life changing.
however much money, however anything, like that's it. So that's awesome. Thank you, Chris. I don't even know where to go. How do you talk NBA after that? You can't.
I mean, we've got stuff.
It's cool when, like he mentions, again, we watch sports as the fan level and we try to get more into it. But like going back to that first game they played, like, yeah, up 17-0, driving, strip sack. Tyreek Hill, 200 yards in the first quarter. But that is the fun of football, right? Because what are they going to do different? Are they going to put 2 guys on Tyreek Hill and just say it's not happening? Are they going to put 2 guys on Tyreek Hill and it doesn't matter? That's kind of the fun of football. That's why I suck at the daily fantasy stuff. When my
Too unpredictable.
when my buddies started getting into that, I was like, how do you know if a wide receiver is going to be double teamed all day or if he's going to be open? Like, I know there's different tricks to it and stuff. That was awesome. Thanks, Chris. Let's see what else we got, BBD. I don't know. I can't talk about these NBA games. That was awesome. Danny Green, 4 from 7 from 3 last night. Bang.
Heat lost.
Shake Milton, 13 points. Go watch the Super Bowl. We've got one more football game this year. And then it's basketball, baseball season, which we like here at John Boy Media. We like it a lot. BBD, your hockey notes. Lightning are 6-1-1. And you noted, are they the team that just won? I think so. If I had to bet money, the Lightning won the last Stanley Cup.
When I started writing it, I was like, it was them because we've been talking about how Tampa was getting stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were doing the whole Tampa
And that was hockey.
won, and then the Rays went, and now the Buccaneers went, and the hockey's the one they won.
Patrice Bergeron, game-winning power play. I think he got a bro of the night once.
At some
I
point,
think that was my hockey, yeah.
I almost,
Let's go to the bro of the night, BBD. Bro of the night. It's kind of Chris Rose. It's brought to you by the new Wake and Jake channel. We should have the link in the YouTube. It's also it's associated with the John Boy Media channel.
Oh, huge.
Go over, subscribe to Wake and Jake. We're going to be doing our Super Bowl episode on that channel.
Today's the last episode on this
Last
channel.
step on here. Yeah, I probably should have said that earlier, but we were nervous and excited about the Chris Rose stuff, which was awesome, so it was worth it. BBD, I'll let you kick off. I, wanted you to be more in the mix with the Chris Rose, but when we're doing phone stuff,
hard
it gets
on the
tricky.
phone.
You can't see. So you've got
Your
a.
name's on the show.
Here's a bro of the night for you, BBD.
Yeah, well,
Your guy.
a part of me was considering Bergeron because he's
Sure.
a hockey player I've heard of, and he was involved
Second
in
bro
all
of the
4
night
goals.
for Patrice.
But I'm going to give it to Jeff Green. They didn't play
Okay.
last night, but the Nets had a big win against the Clippers, and people are talking about the defense and stuff. Jeff Green fills a very important role for that Nets team. Just like he guards many positions. He's been hitting his threes. But I was thinking about all the teams he's been on. Like, has anyone played with more Hall of Famers and All Stars than that guy? Like, I was looking at it out there because he was on that 18 Cavs team. He was he's obviously on this year's team with KD, Kyrie, and Harden. He's on the Rockets last year.
Yeah.
Harden, Chris Paul, or he wasn't there. Was he there last year? Not last year. But he was on the Clippers team with Chris Paul
Yep.
and Blake Griffin.
Old Celtics teams
DeAndre
too,
Jordan
right?
there.
Am
He
I
was
dreaming
on
that?
those old Celtics teams.
That could be a book, BBD.
It's like he was on the Memphis teams that had like Conley and Gasol and
Sure.
Randolph. Not that they're necessarily the Hall of Fame tier, but like notable players, like important. He's been on a lot of important teams.
I wonder if there's a way to search that's like who's played with the teammates that have accrued the most, like, what's NBA, Warp or something like that? They've got like an all-encompassing stat that's
they have
not
their
great,
equivalent
but-
of WAR.
Yeah.
PER exists. It's kind of like their OPS plus equivalent.
Huge.
Yeah,
Jeff
I was
Green.
just kind of thinking about that. I was listening to an interview with him. And I was like, yeah, he's been on a lot.
What was he
of
on?
good
Like
teams.
Woj? Or-
It's like the
Reddick?
New York Post
Oh, okay.
has a podcast with, and Robin Lundberg hosted, and he was like
Gotcha.
my sports media idol growing up.
Wow. How about
So.
that coming out?
They have their Nets show I listen to on the drive-in. They're interviewing Jeff Green.
It's beautiful stuff, BBD.
He's on the Utah teams. He's played with Donovan Mitchell too, which is just funny because he's on the path.
He's on the path.
Good young career. It's kind of
Okay.
just like a lifetime achievement award of sorts. It's like,
Huge.
Jeff Green's played with a lot of good players on a lot of good teams. No ring yet, I don't think.
And an interesting, because he had the size, he had all the skills, so people's expectations went up for him, and it just never fully happened. But now he's a nice veteran role player.
He's a very nice back nine
Yeah.
career.
Very nice back nine. Beautiful. Jeff Green, happy for you. Should be seeing him in some big basketball games coming up. BBD, I think I'm going to do a Bro-Bruh combo,
Center this year.
and I'm going to give it to Luka. The Mavs got the win last night, 27, 14 assists, 8 rebounds. Luka's awesome. Luka's fun. I said it. I forget if I said it on here, or I think I said it on like a Talking Knicks episode.
I think we said it a few times on both.
The page is going to turn on Luka. You see this with NBA stars a lot. He's awesome. He's nasty. I like Luka.
Everyone agrees he's good.
Luka complains a lot. Luka's team is currently 9-13. This is kind of after the Super Bowl is the turning point of this NBA season. The Heat, who have been bad, the Mavericks, Toronto. Like, it's kind of go time. Like, we're coming up on a quarter of a way through the season, a third of the way through the season. These teams got to go. Luka and the Mavs, he was everybody's MVP pick to start the season, and the Mavericks are 9-13. So they got the win last night. Luka, you kind of used up your people getting into the NBA leash. It's go time. You're gross. You're nasty in the best way possible. But yeah, just watch out for that. We've talked about it a few times, but I think Zach Lowe wrote an article the other day that was like, Luka complains the most in the NBA. And it's funny how quick the narrative can change. So
I mean, if they like miss the playoffs this year, it's like next year becomes very important for the perception of Luka.
yeah, man. I mean,
if they miss it,
they would give the Knicks a lottery pick, right?
Yeah, this year for like us directly gives the Knicks a lottery pick, which would be cool. No matter what, the Knicks are gonna have like 4 top 35 picks, which is fun.
Yeah.
Which is like sort of a nice consolation. Not to make this an episode of talking
Yeah,
Knicks,
Knicks.
but if they're not like one of the 6 worst teams like we thought they'd be, first of all, they've like fixed the lottery odds, so anything can happen. But also like they can probably move into the top 10 if there's a guy they want.
Trade up.
So Knicks stuff.
Knicks
They have
stuff.
4 top 35 picks is the fun way to frame it.
And that was talking Knicks. So just Luka, hey, gave Zion some love, Luka. And guess what? Zion will go on the same trajectory I just talked about. Zion will be beloved this year. It'll gain traction. People will start comparing Zion and Luka. And then if the Pelicans don't make a leap next year, people will start coming at Zion. Like, that's
Zion,
the NBA process.
Luka has already taken like that first leap. Zion still hasn't quite done that.
Yeah.
So he's like, but Luka was like an absurdly quick
Yeah.
burst on the scene. Like,
Became
it's
a
not-
star.
It's not
oddly
fair to
quick.
Zion to hold him to Luka's standard, but
I think he might be there.
but next year he's got to do something, and there's another level you got to go that Luka still hasn't done.
After this season, there will be articles written that are Zion versus Luka. Who would you take? That's
Start
what I'll
your
promise
team.
people. All right, that was the bro of the night. A little bit of a quirky bro of the night. I'm sure we'll have some pretty big ones on Super Bowl Monday on the new channel. BBD, what we're watching, Super Bowl. I think we've talked about that a couple times. Let's see.
There's like a good.
You wrote a
game
couple
to
NBA
watch
games in here.
each of the next few nights.
Okay, walk me through it.
Nuggets Lakers late tonight. There's a Sixers Blazers game earlier that you might want to tune into. It's not nationally televised, but Celtics Clippers Friday night. Nets Sixers Saturday night, and then the Super Bowl is Sunday. The Knicks they usually don't play many, if any, NBA games on Sunday, but there's like a bunch this year because COVID. They have to get games in, which is just kind of funny.
Yeah.
So normally that would be the day, but like we'll have to watch the Knicks at 1:00 that day. And do talking Knicks.
How about that? Yeah, so hey, get some NBA game. Enjoy the Super Bowl, however you will, semi-safely. Have a little fun. And then, yeah, it's going to be baseball season, BBD.
Twins just did stuff. We're going to talk about
Alex
that on Talking
Colomé.
Baseball next.
Talking baseball coming up next. What else we got? Talking Giants is out. Talking Yanks is out. New GM files. Producer BBD on that. Mansplain baseball.
Comment of the day?
Oh my God! The comment of the day. Chris Rose threw us off the damn loop. BBD advertised GM files.
Advertised GM files. Doc Gooden came out last
It's
night.
a big one.
We got a big one we're recording this afternoon. We recorded another big one last night. Next couple weeks there's some fun ones, some good stories. But Doc Gooden, like everyone knows that story, and he shares some fun stuff.
Doc
guy.
Gooden, man. I mean, that's a
He's
big
like-
one, man.
There's a 30 for 30 about that guy.
Doc Gooden's a big one. All right, I'm in last episode. Good views. Thanks, you guys.
And he was very nice to me. He called me buddy, which I normally don't appreciate from people, but from Doc Gooden, I'm fine being called buddy.
Seeing some Lord Farquaad comments. I think that's targeted at me. What are they talking about? He looks like he's one of the Incredibles.
It was the Bobby episode.
Oh, Bobby. He looks like he's one of the Incredibles. So that's pretty good.
If you get the wrong angle, that's where the Farquaad thing comes from. Too.
That was our Bobby episode. Hey, if you're in on Super Bowl stuff, go check that out. Bobby did a little more X's and O's. Bobby played football and he likes getting in that stuff, so he had some O-line stuff.
Into the O-line, which I like. I like hearing about it from other people.
I normally say bake the algorithm. Go subscribe to the new channel. We'll be there Monday. Thank you guys so much. Chris Rose, the man. And all the stuff on the John Boy Media Network.
Yeah. Talking Baseball will be live in an hour. Simple Man Radio's going live in like 10 minutes.
So just stay live with us. Jump over to Simple Man. We'll see you on Talking Baseball. Everything else coming out on the network. Love you, Bakers.
Between now and Simple Man, Talking Giants put out a funny video yesterday. I was really happy with Justin. I almost texted him.
Almost.
Chatted with Cole Tucker last night.
Flex.
Don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all
Thanks,
the
Bakers.
sports. Don't fret. He's
You're all
wearing
hot.
Shorts. It's time for Wake
You're all
and
hot.
Jake in the morning. Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.